But because I value each and every one of you, and because I see you all as very, very important, I want to touch on a few things. I want to touch on a few points. Because I want you all to be happy. Because when you are happy, you are more effective. And if you're more effective, the hope for us getting towards socialism, getting toward a society where the major centers of economic power are controlled by the people and not operated for the irrationality of profits, that's much closer. The happier you are, the more effective you are. The more effective you are, the closer we get to socialism. And you're my family here. You are my little live community. I love each and every one of you. We are a community here. We're tight-knit, and I care about you all. So on that note, I am going to give you some pointers. Caleb Maupin's life advice number 1. Consume music carefully. Consume music carefully. Now, it sounds kind of stupid. You're like, what's he getting at here? Okay, folks, people think a lot about their diet. All right, they think, hey, I want to eat healthy. Is this food good for me? Is this food not good for me? People think a lot about their diet. But if you're worried about keeping yourself happy and keeping yourself optimistic, keeping yourself full of energy to keep going, what music you listen to is very, very important. It's very, very important. Music is full of emotion. It's full of emotion. And I will tell you, my ability to be optimistic and to be happy vastly improved when I started to put classical music into my life. When I made the conscious choice to listen to classical music every night before I went to bed and every morning when I wake up. And there's a reason for that. It's because music nowadays, a lot of music is highly emotional, and doesn't really stimulate the intellectual side of your mind. Right? It doesn't really intellectually stimulate you. It stimulates your emotions, right? You get pumped up, you want to go, you're really angry, you're really sad, you're really happy, but it's not teaching you to do what the rational part of your mind does, which is notice patterns. But classical music, you listen to Bach, you listen to Beethoven, you listen to Mozart, it's all patterns. And classical music enhances your ability to think rationally and think about patterns. And I have noticed a huge improvement in my ability to be optimistic by listening to classical music. Now, I'm not opposed, and I will say this, right? Just like people that eat healthy occasionally have, a hot dog or a donut, right? Getting through the day, I'll put on some rock music, I'll put on, some more modern music. But having that foundation of classical music and making it a conscious choice not only to listen to classical music, but to understand called classical music, but to making it a choice to learn to appreciate classical music has done a world of good for me in terms of improving my mood. And I think one great exercise, one beautiful exercise, take a piece of classical music that you really like and figure out why you like it. Maybe you could do this with some rock music that you like, or some jazz music that you like, or some other music that you like. But pick the piece that you most enjoy listening to, and go over it with a telescope. Go over it with a go over it with a fine-toothed comb. Figure out why you like it. Listen to it carefully. Think about, okay, at this part, it's affecting me this way. At this part, it's affecting me this way. Try to figure out why you find that piece to be good and stimulating. Right? Go over that piece of music that you really enjoy carefully. Go over it carefully and figure out why it is that you like it that way. Do it. And as you do it, you'll be figuring out what it is about the piece that makes it effective, and you'll also be figuring out how your own mind works. It's a great, great exercise. So that's Caleb Maupin's advice for feeling good. Number one, be sure to consume your music carefully. Make room for classical music. That's advice number one. Advice number two. And this one may make me sound like a little bit of a hypocrite because I'm here on YouTube, on social media, telling you this. I'm telling you to control your social media use. Make social media serve you. Do not live your life to serve social media. For me, right, I'm on it all, right? Well, I'm not on it all. I'm not on Instagram, but I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. I'm here on YouTube. But I'm urging you, turn off the notifications for your Facebook. Turn off the notifications for your Twitter. Get on Facebook when you want to get on Facebook. Get on Twitter when you want to get on Twitter. Right? Make social media serve you. Don't serve social media. I know so many people, and I've been there before, who are almost a slave to social media. Almost a slave to it. Right? Oh, got another notification. Better pull my phone out. What? Who's liking me now? Whoa, someone's retweeting me. Oh, who's following me? Don't do it. Don't fall into that trap. Make social media serve you. Right? When you feel like getting on Twitter, get on Twitter. When you feel like getting on Facebook, get on Facebook. But make social media serve you. Right? Now, that doesn't apply to messenger apps, right? I use Facebook Messenger. I use, texting. And obviously, you need to know if someone's messaging you. But if somebody really needs to reach you, if you really need to know something really important's happening, you'll get a text about it. You'll get a message about it. You'll get a WhatsApp about it, right? Messenger apps are different. But when it comes to social media apps, general social media apps, they exist for your own pleasure. You do not exist to jump whenever they call. They have no right to run your life. Right? Pearl Center is saying Twitter is addictive. Totally. Right? And so is Instagram, which I've never used. So is Facebook. They're all addictive. But all of them also, especially when people get into, I don't know what it is, Facebook arguments are toxic. I have never seen a Facebook argument lead anywhere good. Especially. But, Twitter, all of them kind of pull negativity out of you, I'll be honest. They pull a kind of negative, combative, angry feeling out of you. And so, if you want to be the master of your own universe, you control social media, and you don't let social media control you, right? Turn off the notifications on your Facebook, on your Twitter, right? Go on Facebook when you feel like going on Facebook. Go on Twitter when you feel like going on Twitter. Don't let those notifications pile up and tell you when to get on social media. That's Caleb Maupin's advice number two. Caleb Maupin's advice for feeling good number two. And Caleb Maupin's advice number three. And this one's a little more abstract. It's not specific. Learn to think long term. And it's hard. And I'm not telling you to space out. I'm not telling you to be distant. I'm not telling you not to be in the moment. But I'm telling you to constantly put every event in your life, put the present moment that you're in a bigger context. When you're talking to somebody, fit that conversation into your understanding of your entire life, of the next year, of the next week. Be able to give everything a context. Right? Think long term. Think about the past, think about the present, and think about the future simultaneously. Have what they call an observer. A psychological view that isn't stuck in the present. that takes into context the past and the future and the present at the same time. Learn to be in the moment. Don't dissociate. Don't be in your own head, not in touch with reality. But learn to put the future and the past in the same context. You do that, and you'll be much happier. Do those three things. Those are 3 points of advice from Caleb. Point number 1, fit classical music into your life. Consume music carefully. Not based on just what feels good in the moment, but how you want to feel. Point number 2 is let social media serve you. Don't serve social media. Control social media. Get on social media because you want to control it. And point number 3 is learn to have an observer and think long term. Put events in your life, put the present moment that you're in into a long context. Be able to think about the present, the past, and the future in the same moment. And if you can do those things, you will be much happier. At least that's my experience.